Hey, what's going on? It's your boy NFF. Back with another reading useless things for hours on end. Today, we're gonna be reading. You gotta like focus. The Apple Media Services Terms and Conditions. Alright, here we go. These terms and conditions create a contract between you and Apple, the agreement. Please read the agreement carefully. To confirm your understanding and acceptance of the agreement, click Agree. A. Introduction to our services. This agreement governs your use of Apple services through which you can buy, get, license, rent, or subscribe to media, apps, and other in-app services. Our services are iTunes Store, App Store, Apple Books, Apple Music, and Apple News. Our services are available to your use in your country of residence. To use our services, you need compatible hardware, software, and internet access. Our services performance may be affected by these factors. B. Using our services. Payments, taxes, and refunds. You can acquire content on our services for free or for a charge, either of which is referred to as a transaction. Each transaction is an electronic contract between you and Apple, and or you and the entity providing the content on our services. However, if you are a customer of Apple Distribution International and you acquire an app or a book, Apple Distribution International is a merged on the record. This means that you acquire the content from Apple Distribution International and it is licensed by the app provider or book publisher. When you make your first transaction, we will ask you to choose how frequently we should ask for your password for future transactions. If you enable Touch ID for transactions, we will ask you to authenticate all transactions with your fingerprint. If you enable Face ID for transactions, we will ask you to authenticate all transactions using facial recognition. Manage your password settings at any time by following these instructions. https://support.apple.com/n-us/ht204030. Apple will charge your payment method, such as your credit card, debit card, gift card, code, or any other method available in your home country, for any paid transactions, including any applicable taxes. If we cannot charge your payment methods for any reason, you remain responsible for any uncollected amounts, and we will attempt to charge the payment method as you update your payment method information. If you pre-order content, you will be charged when the content is delivered to you. In accordance with local law, Apple may update information regarding your payment method if provided such information by your financial institution. For details about how transactions are billed, please visit supportapple.com. All transactions are final. Content prices may change at any time. If technical problems prevent or unreasonably delayed delivery of content, your exclusive and sole remedy is either replacement of the content or refund of the price paid as determined by Apple. From time to time, Apple may refuse a refund request if we find evidence of fraud, refund abuse, or any other manipulative behavior that entitles Apple to a corresponding counterclaim. Terms related to store credit and gift cards/codes are available here. https://www.apple.com/legal/internet services/iTunes/gift cards/ Apple ID. Using our services and accessing your content requires an Apple ID. An Apple ID is the account you use across Apple's ecosystem. Your Apple ID is valuable, and you are responsible for maintaining its confidentiality and security. Apple is not responsible for any losses arising from the unauthorized use of your Apple ID. Please contact Apple if you suspect that your Apple ID has been compromised. You must be age 13 to create an Apple ID and use our services. Apple IDs for persons under this age can be created by a parent or a legal guardian using family sharing or by an approved educational institution. Privacy. Your use of our services is subject to Apple's privacy policy, which is available at www.apple.com/legal/privacy. I will maybe read that one at a different time if you guys are so interested. No one's watching this far into the video. I can literally say anything right now. I can say my address, no one will know. My credit card number is 529. Services and content usage rules. Your use of the services and content must follow the rules set forth in this section. Usage rules. Any other use of the services and content is a material breach of this agreement. Apple may monitor your use of the services and content to ensure that you are following these usage rules. All services. You may use the services and content only for personal, non-commercial purposes. Apple's delivery of content does not transfer any promotional use rights to you and does not constitute a grant or waiver of any rights to the copyright owners. You can use content from up to 5 Apple IDs on each device. It is your responsibility not to lose, destroy, or damage content once downloaded. We encourage you to back up your content regularly. You may not tamper with or circumvent any security technology included with the services. You may access our services only using Apple's software and may not modify or use modified versions of such software. Video content requires an HDCP connection. iTunes Store content. You can use digital rights management, free content on a reasonable number of compatible devices that you own or control. DRM protected content can be used on up to 5 computers and any number of devices that you sync up to from these computers. Content rentals are viewable on a single device at a time and must be played within 30 days and completed within 48 hours at the start of play. You may burn an audio playlist to CD for listening purposes up to 7 times. App Store consent. The term app includes apps, iMessage, and Apple Watch apps. In-app purchases, extensions, stickers, and subscriptions made available in an app. You can use apps on any device that you own or control. Individuals acting on behalf of a commercial enterprise, governmental organization, or educational institution may download and sync apps for use by either 1. A single individual on one or a single individual on one or more devices owned or controlled by an enterprise, or two multiple individuals on a single shared device owned or controlled by an enterprise. For the sake of clarity, each device used serially or collectively by multiple users requires a separate license. Apple Books content. You can use DRM-free content on any compatible device. Oh, shoot. I think I lost my place. Oh, no, I didn't. Please hold. You can use DRM-free content on any compatible device that you own or control. DRM-protected content can be used for up to 5 computers and any number of devices that you sync to those computers. You may not burn Apple Book contents to the disk. Apple Music. You can use an individual Apple Music membership on up to 10 devices. An individual Apple Music membership allows you to stream on a single device at a time. A family membership allows your family members to stream on up to 6 devices at a time. Redownloads. You may be able to re-download previously acquired content to your devices that are signed in with the same ID. You can see content types available for re-download in your home country at support.apple.com/HT204632. Content may not be available for re-download if that content is no longer offered within our services. Associated devices rules. You can have 10 devices signed in with your Apple ID at one time. Each computer must also be authorized using the same Apple ID. Devices can be associated with different Apple ID once every 90 days. Subscriptions. The services in certain apps may allow you to purchase access to content or services on a subscription basis. Paid subscriptions automatically renew until canceled in the Manage Subscriptions section of your account settings. We will notify you if the price of a paid subscription increases and, if required, seek your consent to continue. You will be charged no more than 24 hours prior to the start of the latest paid subscription period. If we cannot charge your payment method for any reason, and you have not canceled the paid subscription, you remain responsible for any uncollected amounts, and we will attempt to charge the payment method as you may update your payment method information. This may result in a change to the start of your next paid subscription period and may change the date on which you are billed for each period. Certain paid subscriptions may offer a free trial prior to charging your payment method. If you decide to unsubscribe from a paid subscription before we start charging your payment method, cancel the subscription before the free trial ends. Content and service availability. Terms found in this agreement that relate to services, content types, features, or functionality not available in your home country are not applicable to you unless and until they become available to you. To see the content types available to you in your home country, go to the services or visit support.apple.com/en-us/HT204411. That's a lot of work, guys. See that guy? It's Mark Sanchez. Baller. So, I'm really just reading all this, and none of you are going to watch this. So, I'm in it for the views. I mean, I guess the watch time doesn't really mean anything to me. If you are listening to this right now, if you hear this part of the video for any reason, I don't know why you would, but comment something like, I don't even know, comment and say Mark Sanchez kind of cute though. We're going to see if anyone actually is going to watch this. Alright, non-Apple devices. If you use our services on a non-Apple branded device, you may not be able to access all features or content types. Terms in this agreement relating to unavailable features or content types are not applicable to you. If you later choose to access our services from an Apple branded device, you agree that all terms of this agreement will apply to your use on such device. Your submissions to our services. Our services may allow you to submit materials such as comments, pictures, videos, and podcasts. Your use of such features must comply with the submissions guidelines below, which may be updated from time to time. If you see materials that do not comply with the submission guideline, please use the Report a Concern feature. You hereby grant Apple a worldwide, royalty-free, perpetual, non-exclusive license to use the materials you submit within the services and related marketing, and Apple internal purposes. Apple may monitor and decide to remove or edit any submitted material. Submissions guidelines. You may not use the services to post any material that you do not have permission, right, or license to use. Post objectionable, offensive, unlawful, deceptive, or harmful content. Post personal, private, or confidential information belonging to others. Request personal information from a minor. Impersonate or misrepresent your affiliation with another person or entity. Post or transit spam, including but not limited to unsolicited or unauthorized advertising, promotional materials, or informational announcements. Plan or engage in any illegal, fraudulent, or manipulative activity. No one's watching this. The more I just think about it, I'm reading the terms and conditions for fun. I really am. Clickbait title, but no one's gonna watch it. We might get views. You know? I'm trying to drag out the video a little longer because I'm about 33% of the way done already. And so, I'm hoping I'm trying to make it longer so it looks like the terms and conditions are a lot longer than they really are. And, I am using an Acer Aspire 1, if you guys want to check it out. It's a good one. Alright, anyway. D, family sharing. The organizer of a family must be 18 years or older, and the parent of a legal guardian or of any family member under age 13 or the equivalent minimum age in their home country. Apple devices are required for access to all of the family sharing features. Purchase sharing. Family starting purchase sharing feature allows you to share eligible content with up to 6 members of a family. The organizer invites other members to participate and agrees to pay for all transactions initiated by family members. The organizer's payment method is used to pay for any transaction initiated by a family member. Family members are acting as agents for the organizer when the organizer's payment method is used. The organizer hereby agrees, 1, to pay for such transactions, and 2, that transactions initiated by family members are authorized. Organizers are responsible for complying with their payment method contract and assume all risk related to sharing access to the payment method with family members. A receipt or invoice for any family member transaction is sent to the initiating family member and the organizer. Hey guys, I have something to show you. So if you got this far, comment about my Ray Rice jersey. Do you guys like it? I think I'm gonna wear it for the rest of the video. It will not fit me. I'm gonna read a paragraph like this. Organizer, when the organizer's payment method is used, the organizer hereby agrees, 1, to pay. I already did that part. Ask to buy. Ask to buy is a convenient feature that allows an organizer to approve each transaction initiated by a family member under age 18. The organizer must be the parent or legal guardian of any family member for whom Ask to buy is activated. Content downloaded from family members or acquired via redemption codes are not subject to Ask to buy. Family member changes. When a family member leaves or is removed from the family, the remaining family members may no longer be able to access the former member's content, including content acquired with the organizer's payment method. Let's put that over there. Family sharing rules. You can only belong to one family at a time and may join any family no more than twice a year. You can change the Apple ID associated with a family no more than once every 90 days. All family members must share the same home country. Not all content, including in-app purchases, subscriptions, and some previously acquired apps are eligible for purchase sharing. Whew! Why am I doing this to myself? This is so stupid. I don't know why. I was just like, you know what I should do for a video? Read the terms and conditions of Apple. I have to make sure my laptop's plugged in. Yikes. Recommendation features. The services will recommend content to you based on your downloads, purchases, and other activities. You may opt out from receiving such recommendations in your account settings. Some recommendation features may require your permission before they are turned on. If you turn on these features, you'll be asked to give Apple permission to collect and store certain data, including but not limited to data about your device activity, location, and usage. Please carefully read the information presented when you turn on these features. I'm taking a break after that to make it look longer. Longer video, the longer you guys think this took. Let's see what I have in here. Scissors. Hi everybody. 30 likes and comment below. Do it, and I'll cut my hair next video. Okay. If I see 5 comments that say "do it" in the comment section, then I'll consider doing it next video. That's what you get for watching 16 minutes of me reading the terms and conditions. All right. Additional iTunes Store terms: Season Pass and Multi-Pass. A pass allows you to purchase and receive television content as it becomes available. A season pass applies to television content that has a limited number of episodes per season. A multi-pass applies to television content that is available on an ongoing basis. The full price of a season pass or a multi-pass is charged at the time of transaction. Season pass or multi-pass content is available for download up to 90 days after the last episode becomes available. If automatic renewal is selected when you obtain a multi-pass, you will be charged the full price of each subsequent multi-pass cycle. You can turn off automatic renewal prior to the beginning of the next multi-pass cycle in your account settings. If a content provider delivers to Apple fewer TV episodes than planned when you purchase Season Pass, we will credit to your Apple ID the real value of the corresponding number of episodes that are not provided to Apple. Whew. Yes, I really did just leave to go get water. Thank you for asking. Alright. Additional App Store terms. License of App Store content. App licenses are provided to you by Apple or a third-party developer. If you are a customer of Apple Distribution International, the merchant of record is Apple Distribution International, which means that you acquire the app license from Apple Distribution International. But the app is licensed by the app provider. An app licensed by Apple is an Apple app. An app licensed by an app provider is a third-party app. Apple acts as an agent. I'm just getting the alliterations going. Apple acts as an agent for app providers in providing the App Store and is not a party for the sales contract or user agreement between you and the app provider. Any app that you acquire is governed by the licensed application end user license agreement, standard EULA, set forth below. Unless Apple or the app provider provides an overriding custom license agreement, the app provider of any third-party app is solely responsible for its content, warranties, and claims that you may have related to the third-party app. You acknowledge and agree that Apple is a third-party beneficiary of the standard EULA or custom EULA applicable to each third-party app, and may therefore enforce such agreement. Certain apps, such as stickers and iMessage apps, may not appear on the device springboard but can be accessed and used in the iMessage app drawer. In-app purchases. Dude, I gotta get it moving. I'm not even 50% there. Apps may offer content, services, or functionality for use within such apps. In-app purchases that are consumed during the use of the app cannot be transferred among devices and can only be downloaded once. You may authenticate your account before making in-app purchases, separate from any authentication. Authentication. Why do I keep saying authentication? Authentication to obtain other content. By entering your password or using Touch ID or Face ID, you will not be able to make additional in-app purchases for 2 minutes without re-authenticating. Unless you've asked to require a password for every purchase or have enabled Touch ID or Face ID, you can turn off these ability to make in-app purchases by following these instructions. And then it has a link. And I'm cheating this and I'm not reading the link. How does that make you guys feel? App maintenance and support. Apple is responsible for providing maintenance and support for Apple apps only or as required under applicable law. App providers are responsible for providing maintenance and support for third-party apps. App bundles. Some apps may be sold together as a bundle. The price displayed with the app bundle is the price you will be charged upon purchasing the app bundle. The app bundle price may be reduced to account for apps you have already purchased or acquired, but may include a minimum charge to complete the app bundle. License application and user license agreement. Apps made available through the App Store are licensed, not sold to you. Your license to each app is subject to your prior acceptance of either this license application and user license agreement or a custom end user license agreement between you and the application provider. If one is provided, your license to any Apple app under the standard EULA or custom EULA is granted by Apple, and your license to any third-party app under this standard EULA or custom EULA is granted by the application provider of that third-party app. Any app that is subject to the standard EULA is referred to herein as the I've never seen that word in my life. Herein as the license application, the application provider or Apple as applicable reserves all rights into the license application not expressly granted to you under the standard EULA. A. Scope of license. Licensor grants to you a non-transferable license to use the license application on any app-branded products that you own or control and as permitted by the usage rules. The terms of the standard EULA will govern any content, materials, or services accessible from or purchased within this license application, as well as upgrades provided by a licensor that replace or supplement the original license application unless such upgrade is accompanied by a custom EULA. Except as provided in the usage rules, you are not distribute or make the license application available over network where it could be used by multiple devices at the same time. You may not transfer, redistribute, or sub-license the license application, and if you sell your Apple device to a third party, you must remove the license application from the Apple device before doing so. You may not copy, reverse engineer, disassemble, attempt to derive the source code of, modify, or create derivative works of the license application, any updates, or any part thereof. Except as and only to the extent that any foregoing restriction is prohibited by applicable law or to the extent as may be permitted by the licensing terms governing use of any open source components included with the license application. B. Consent to use of data. You agree the licensor may collect and use technical data or related information, including but not limited to technical information about your device, system and application software, peripherals, that is gathered periodically to facilitate the provision of software updates, product support, and other services to you related to the license application. The licensor may use this information as long as it is in a form that does not personally identify you to improve its products or to provide services or technologies to you. C. Termination. This standard EULA is effective until terminated by your licensor. Your rights under standard EULA will terminate automatically if you fail to comply with any of its terms. D. External services. The license application may enable access to licensors and or third parties' services and websites. You agree to use the external services at your sole risk. Licensor is not responsible for examining or evaluating the content or actions of any third party external services and shall not be liable for any such third-party external services. Data displayed by any license application or external services, including but not limited to medical and locational information, is for general informational purposes only and is not guaranteed by licensor or its agents. You will not use the external services in any matter that is inconsistent with the terms of the standard EULA or that infringes the intellectual property rights of the licensor or any third party. You agree not to use the external services to harass, abuse, stalk, threaten, or defame any person or entity, and that licensor is not responsible for any such use. External services may not be available in all languages or in your home country and may not be appropriate or available for use in any particular location. To the extent you choose to use such external services, you are solely responsible for compliance with any applicable laws. Licensors are right to change, suspend, remove, disable, or impose access restrictions or limits on any external services at any time without notice or liability to you. Why? There's no reason. I better get so many views on this. I was trying to find a time when I'm available for 10 hours consecutively so I can watch one of the 10-hour videos. I literally don't have a life, you guys. You don't understand. Can you guys please subscribe? If you're watching this, please subscribe. I just want subscribers. E. No warranty. You expressly acknowledge and agree that use of the license application is at your sole risk to the maximum extent permitted. Why is this in all caps? I'm going to scream it. No warranty. You expressly acknowledge and agree that use of the license application is at your sole risk to the maximum extent permitted by applicable law. The license application and any services performed or provided by the license application are provided as is and as available with all faults and without a warranty of any kind, and licensor hereby disclaims all warranties and any conditions with respect to the license application of any services, either express, implied, or statutory, including but not limited to the implied warranties and or conditions of merchantability, of satisfactory quality, or of fitness for a particular purpose, of accuracy, of quiet enjoyment, and of non-infringement of third-party rights. No oral or written information or advice given by licensor or its authorized representative shall create a warranty. Shall the license application or services proved defective, you assume the entire cost of all necessary servicing, repair, or correction. Some jurisdictions do not allow the exclusion of implied warranties or limitations on applicable statutory rights of a consumer, so the above exclusion and limitations may not apply to you. F. Limitation of liability. To the extent not prohibited by law, in no event shall licensor be liable for personal injury or any incidental, special, indirect, or consequential damages whatsoever, including without limitations damages for lost profit, loss of data, business interruption, or any commercial damages or losses arising out of or related to your use of or inability to use the license application, however caused, regardless of the theory or liability. And even if licensor has been advised of the possibility of such damages, some jurisdictions do not allow the limitation of liability for personal injury or of incidental or consequential damages, so this limitation may not apply to you. In no event shall licensor's total liability to you all charges for all damages exceed the amount of $50. The foregoing limitations will apply even if the above stated remedy fails of its essential purpose. G. You may not use or otherwise export or re-export the license application except as authorized by United States law and the laws of the jurisdiction in which the license application was obtained. In particular, without limitation, the license application may not be exported or re-exported, A, into any U.S. embargoed countries, or B, to anyone on the U.S. Treasury Department's specially designated nationals list, or the U.S. Department of Commerce denied persons list or entity list. By using the license application, you represent and warrant that you are not located in any such country or any such list. You also agree that you will not use these products for any purposes prohibited by the United States law, including without limitation the development, design, manufacture, or production of nuclear, missile, or chemical, or biological weapons. I would say we're like a little over 50% so far. Oh my gosh, why did I sign up for this? H. The license application and related documentation are commercial items, as that term is defined as 48 CFR. What is that? I don't know what this is. Does anyone know what this... Oh, focus? That sign is, because I don't. Anyway, that sign 2.101 consisting of commercial computer software and commercial computer software documentation, as such terms are used in 48 CFR, that sign 12.212, or 48 CFR, that sign 227.7202, as applicable, consistent with 48 CFR 12.212, or 48 CFR, that sign 227.7202-1 through 227.7202-4. As applicable, the commercial computer software and commercial computer software documentation are being licensed to the U.S. government and users, A, only as commercial items, and B, with only those rights as are granted to all other end users pursuant to the terms and conditions herein. Unpublished rights reserved under the copyright laws of the United States. I. Except to the extent expressly provided in the following paragraph, this agreement and the relationship between you and Apple shall be governed by the laws of the state of California, excluding its conflicts of law provision. You and Apple agree to submit to the personal and exclusive jurisdiction of the courts located within the county of Santa Clara, California, to resolve any dispute or claim arising from this agreement. If A, you are not a U.S. citizen, B, you do not reside in the U.S., C, you are not accessing the service in the U.S., and D, you are a citizen of one of the countries identified below, you hereby agree that any disputed claim arising from this agreement shall be governed by the applicable law set forth below. Without regard to any conflict of law provisions, and you hereby irrevocably submit to the non-exclusive jurisdiction of the courts located in the state, province, or country identified below, whose law governs. If you are a citizen of any European Union country, or Switzerland, Norway, or Iceland, the governing law and form shall be the laws and courts of your usual place of residence. Specifically excluded from application to this agreement is the law known as United Nations Convention on the International Sale of Goods. H. Additional Apple Books terms. You acquire Apple Books content from the third-party provider of such content, not Apple. Apple acts as an agent for the publisher in providing Apple Books content to you, and therefore Apple is not a party of transaction between you and the publisher. If you are a customer of Apple Distribution International, the merchant of record is Apple Distribution International, which means that you acquire license to use content from Apple Distribution International. But the content is licensed by the publisher. The publisher of the Apple Books reserves the right to enforce the terms of use relating to such Apple Books content. The publisher of the Apple Books content is solely responsible for such content. Any warranties to the extent that such warranties have not been disclaimed, and any claims that you or any other party may have relating to such content. Let me take a quick thumbnail. Is that a good thumbnail? I don't know. We'll find out. Alright. Additional Apple Music terms. Apple Music membership. Apple Music is a subscription music service. Your Apple Music membership will automatically renew until you turn off automatic renewal and account settings. See the subscription section for more details. When your Apple Music membership ends, you will lose access to any feature of Apple Music that requires a membership, including but not limited to access to Apple Music Song Store on your device and iCloud Music Library. Apple reserves the right to cancel your Apple Music membership if we are unable to successfully charge your payment method to renew your membership. Where available, you may be offered an Apple Music membership through your wireless carrier. If you purchase a carrier membership, your carrier will bill you for the cost of Apple Music membership. Your billing relationship with carrier is governed by the carrier's terms and conditions, not this agreement. Maybe I'll read that one later too. Not this agreement. Any billing disputes related to carrier membership must be directed towards your carrier, not Apple. By using Apple Music, you agree that your carrier may exchange your carrier account information, telephone number, and subscription information with Apple, and that Apple may use this information to determine the status of your carrier membership. iCloud Music Library. iCloud Music Library is an Apple Music feature that allows you to access your matched or uploaded songs, playlists, and music videos acquired from Apple Music, the iTunes Store, or a third party. On your Apple Music enabled devices, iCloud Music is turned on automatically when you set on your Apple Music membership. iCloud Music Library collects information about your iCloud Music Library content. This information is associated with your Apple ID and compared to iCloud Music Library content currently available on Apple Music. iCloud Music Library content that is not matched is uploaded to Apple iCloud Music Library servers. You can upload up to 100,000 songs. Songs acquired from the iTunes Store or Apple Music do not count against this limit. Songs that do not meet certain criteria or that are not authorized for your device are not eligible for iCloud Music Library. When you use iCloud Music Library, Apple logs information such as the tracks you play, stop, or skip, the device you use, and the time and duration of the playback. You agree to use iCloud Music Library only for lawfully acquired content. iCloud Music Library is provided on an as-is basis and could contain errors or inaccuracies. You should back up your data and information prior to using iCloud Music Library. If you are not an Apple Music member, you may purchase an iTunes Match subscription, which is subject to the terms set forth in this section. J. Miscellaneous terms applicable to all services. I think this is the home stretch, guys. We're like 70% of the way there. J. Miscellaneous terms applicable to all services. Definition of Apple, depending on your home country. Apple means Apple Incorporated, located at 1 Apple Parkway, Cupertino, California, for users in North, Central, and South America, including Canada, for use of iTunes Store and Apple Music, as well as United States territories and possessions in French and British possessions in North America, South America, and the Caribbean. Apple Canada Incorporated, located at 120 Bremer Boulevard, Suite 1600, Toronto, Ontario, M5J08. Canada for users of App Store and Apple Books in Canada or its territories and possessions. iTunes KK, located at Roppongi Hill, 6101 Roppongi, Manatuku, Tokyo, 1066140. Tokyo for users in Japan. Apple Pty Limited, located at level 3, 20 Martin Place, Sydney, NSW, 2000 Australia, for users in Australia, New England, including island possessions, territories, and affiliated jurisdictions. And Apple Distribution International, located at Holly Hill Industrial Estate, Holly Hill Court, Republic of Ireland, for all other users. Contract changes. Apple reserves the right at any time to modify this agreement to add new or additional terms or conditions on your use of the services. Such modifications of additional terms and services will be effective immediately and incorporated into this agreement. Your continued use of services will be deemed acceptance thereof. Third-party materials. Apple is not responsible or liable for third-party materials included within or linked from the content or the services. Intellectual property. You agree that the services, including when not limited to content, graphics, user interface, audio clips, video clips, editorial content, and the scripts and software used to implement the services, contain proprietary information and material that is owned by Apple and or its licensors and is protected by applicable intellectual property and other laws, including but not limited to copyright. You agree that you will not use such proprietary information or materials in any way whatsoever except for the use of the services for personal, non-commercial uses in compliance with this agreement. No portion of the services may be reproduced in any form or by any means except as expressly permitted by this agreement. You agree not to modify, rent, loan, sell, or distribute the services content or any matter, and you shall not exploit the services in any manner not expressly authorized. The Apple name, the Apple logo, iTunes Store, App Store, Apple Books, Apple Music, and other Apple trademarks, service marks, graphics, and logos used in connection with the services are trademarks or registered trademarks of Apple in the U.S. and other countries throughout the world. You are granted no right or license with respect to any of these aforesaid trademarks. Copyright notice. If you believe that any content available through the services is infringing copyright claimed by you, please contact Apple at the following locations. iTunes Store, www.com/legal/internet-services/iTunes Store notices/ App Store, www.apple.com/legal/internet-services/iTunes/App Store notices. Apple Books, www.apple.com/legal/internet-services/iTunes/Apple Books notices. Apple Music, www.apple.com/legal/trademark/claims-copyright.html. Termination and suspension of services. If you fail or Apple suspects that you have failed to comply with any of the provisions of this agreement, Apple may, without notice to you, 1. Terminate this agreement and or your Apple ID, and you'll remain liable for all amounts due under your Apple ID up to and including to the date of termination, and or 2. Terminate your license to the software, and or 3. Preclude your access to the services. Apple further reserves the right to modify, suspend, or discontinue the services at any time with or without notice to you, and Apple will not be liable to you or to any third party should it exercise its rights. Disclaimer, oh god, this is all in caps again. Does anyone have to scream again? Disclaimer of warranties, liability, limitation. Apple does not guarantee, represent, or warrant that your use of services will be uninterrupted or error-free, and you agree that from time to time Apple may remove the services or for indefinite periods of time, cancel the services at any time, or otherwise limit or disable your access to the services without notice to you. You expressly agree that your use of or inability to use the services is at your sole risk. The services and all content delivered to you through the services are provided as is and as available for your use without warranties of any kind, either express or implied, including all implied warranties of merchantability, fitness for a particular purpose, title, and non-infringement, because some jurisdictions do not allow the exclusion of implied warranties. The above exclusion of implied warranties may not apply to you. In no case shall Apple, should Apple, its directors, officers, employees, affiliates, agents, contractors, licensors be liable for any indirect, direct, incidental, punitive, special, or consequential damages arising from your use of any of these services, or for any other claim related to in any way to your services of and or content, including but not limited to any errors or omissions in any content, or any loss or damage or of any kind incurred as a result for the use of any content posted, transmitted, or otherwise made available via the services, even if advised of their possibility, because some countries, states, or jurisdictions do not allow the exclusion or the limitation of liability for consequential or incidental damages in such countries, states, or jurisdictions. Apple's liability shall not be limited to the extent such limitation is permitted by law. Apple shall use reasonable efforts to protect information submitted by you in connection with the services, but you agree that your submission of such information is at your sole risk. And you hereby release Apple from any and all liability due for any loss or liability relating to such information in any way. Apple does not represent or guarantee that the services will be free from loss, corruption, attack, viruses, interference, hacking, or any other security intrusion, and you hereby release Apple from any liability relating to you. You shall be responsible for backing up your own system, including any content acquired or rented through the services. Apple is not responsible in connection with your use of the services. Waiver and indemnity. By using the services, you agree to the extent permitted by the law to indemnify and hold Apple, its directors, officers, employees, affiliates, agents, contractors, and licensors harmless with respect to any claims arising out of your breach of the agreement. Your use of services or any action taken by Apple as part of its investigation of a suspected violation of this agreement or as a result of its finding that a violation of this agreement has occurred. You agree that you shall not sue or recover any damages from Apple, its directors, officers, employees, affiliates, agents, contractors, and licensors as a result of its decision to remove or refuse to process any information or content, to warn you, to suspend or terminate your access to the services, or to take away or to take any other action during the investigation of a suspected violation or as a result of Apple's conclusion that a violation of this agreement has occurred. This waiver and indemnity provision applies to all violations described in or contemplated by this agreement. Statutory exceptions for public institutions. If you are a qualified public and educational or governmental institution in any part of this agreement, such as by way of example, all or part of the indemnification section is invalid or unenforceable against you because of the applicable local, national, state, or federal law, then that portion shall be deemed invalid, or unenforceable, as the case may be, and instead construed in a manner most consistent with applicable governing law. Governing law! Except to the extent expressly provided in the following paragraph, this agreement and the relationship between you and Apple and all transactions on the services shall be governed by the laws of the state of California, excluding its conflicts of law provisions. You and Apple agree to submit to the personal and exclusive jurisdiction of the courts located within the county of Santa Clara, California, to resolve any dispute or claim arising from this agreement. If A, you are not a U.S. citizen. Didn't I already read this part? Am I tripping? I'm pretty sure this was already a paragraph. Should I tell Apple about this? If A, you are not a U.S. citizen, B, you do not reside in the U.S., C, you are not acting in the U.S., and D, you are a citizen of one of the countries identified below, you hereby agree that any dispute or claim arising from this agreement shall be governed by the applicable law set forth below. Without regard to any conflict of law provisions, you hereby irrevocably submit to the non-exclusive jurisdiction of the courts located in the state, province, or country identified below those who law governs. If you are a citizen of any European Union country or Switzerland, Norway, or Iceland, the governing law and form shall be the laws and courts of your usual place of residence. Specifically excluded from application to this agreement is the law known as the United Nations Convention on the International Sale of Goods. Look, guys, I'm bleeding. This agreement constitutes the entire agreement between you and Apple and governs your use of their services. I forgot to say other provisions. This agreement constitutes the entire agreement between you and Apple and governs any of your services, superseding any prior agreements with respect to the same subject matter between you and Apple. You also may be subject to additional terms and conditions that may apply when you use affiliate services, third-party content, third-party software, or any additional services such as the volume purchase program. If any part of the agreement is held invalid or unenforceable, that portion shall be construed in a manner consistent with applicable law to reflect as nearly possible the original intentions of the parties, and the remaining portion shall remain in full force and effect. Apple's failure to enforce any right or provisions in this agreement will not constitute a waiver or any other provision. Apple will not be responsible for failures to fulfill any obligations due to causes beyond its control. You agree to comply with all local, state, federal, and national laws, statutes, ordinances, and regulations that apply to your use of services. Your use of the services may also be subject to other laws. Risk of loss for all electronically delivered transactions passed to the acquirer. Upon electronic transmission to the recipient, no Apple employee or agent has the authority to vary this agreement. Apple may notify you with respect to the services by sending an email message to your email address or a letter via postal mail to your mailing address or by a posting on the services. Notices shall become effective immediately. Apple may also contact you by an email or push notification to send you additional information about the services. We are 2 paragraphs away, everybody. Oh my god, this is remarkable. I'm very happy right now. Okay. We're just stalling a little bit. You know, want this video to seem a little long. I'm still bleeding. All right. You hereby grant Apple the right to take steps Apple believes are reasonably necessary or appropriate to enforce and or verify compliance with any part of this agreement. You agree that Apple has the right, without liability to you, to disclose any data and or information to law enforcement authorities, government officials, and or a third party, as Apple believes is reasonably necessary or appropriate to enforce and or verify compliance with any part of this agreement, including but not limited to Apple's right to cooperate with any legal process relating to your use of services and or content and or third-party claim that your use of the services and or content is unlawful and or infringes such third-party rights. Children under the age of majority should review this agreement with their parent or guardian to ensure that the child and parent or legal guardian understand it. Last updated September 17th, 2018. Boom. That is the entire Apple terms and conditions. And I just want to thank you all for watching the last 10 seconds, because I know you guys have not just watched that last 45 minutes of me reading the terms and conditions. So I will see you guys in the next one.